Hey Siri, why Final Cut Pro sucks?
I'm sorry you're not happy with it.
I was Adobe Premiere Pro user for around 7 years, and in 2021 I switched on Final Cut Pro, and during that time I edited maybe around 100 videos and made a lot of tutorials about Final Cut Pro. It has a lot of different disadvantages, which I want to describe why I hate Final Cut Pro. 10 things that I hate in Final Cut Pro. First point, audio mixture. I hate this process in Final Cut Pro because in Premiere Pro you have dedicated window with all your tracks of your sequence, and you can apply effects both independently on one track, second track, third track. It's amazing. It's like you are using actual audio mixer but built in your dedicated window. I understand that Final Cut Pro doesn't have typical like layout of tracks, video tracks, audio tracks, and you can change it separately. You can assign different roles like sound effects, dialogue, background music, and you can only change color of this track. And that's all. So please, Apple, I know someone is watching my videos. Just steal audio mixer or from Premiere Pro or from Logic Pro. It's not a big deal. Let's speak about Apple Motion. It's useless piece of shit. Apple Motion is good app to create motion graphics, to create some elements, some animations, but in collaboration with Final Cut Pro, it's again useless piece of because if you start to compare After Effects with Premiere Pro, it works simultaneously, perfectly, and you don't have a problem. If you create mistake in your After Effects project, you just open this project, change something, and your final sequence in Adobe Premiere Pro will automatically change, and you don't have to render all these projects to fix one mistake. I'm not pro user of Motion, but I used it to create VHF preset, which you can buy in my store, adjustment layers like in Premiere Pro, letterbox speaker. I also have my own titles for my design code of this channel. You spend the whole hour to create effect, but it's like total crap, and it's much easier to find something online and use it because again, installation process is like 2 clicks, and I have video about how to install different plugins in Final Cut Pro. Really, Apple Motion still, it's good, but if you start to compare it with After Effects, and the same I want to say about Apple Compressor. Again, it's good, but still it's useless. If you start to compare Apple Compressor plus Final Cut Pro and Adobe Media Encoder plus Premiere Pro, Apple Compressor can do nothing because you need to spend 15 minutes watching my tutorial about Apple Compressor, and you will know this app. You will know everything what you have inside this app. Media Encoder has much more power and features inside it, and again, integration process works better in Media Encoder. You want to create new export settings, you need to open Apple Compressor, create these settings, then you need to open settings in Final Cut Pro, you need to add these settings in your export settings of Final Cut Pro, and then you can use this these settings. Yeah, and by the way, speaking about them, I can't find normal settings of export and normal settings of the whole app. If you open preferences of Pro app, you have nothing. Again, compare Adobe Premiere Pro with Final Cut Pro. One tab in Premiere Pro has much more features and different buttons than the whole Final Cut Pro. This is not iMovie. Even Spotify, which is just player for your music and podcasts, has much more features than Final Cut Pro. Professional app for pros. I know it's stupid to say that Pro Tools should be for pros and you need to be a pro to use Pro Tool, but still, if you are using this app as a professional, you are making money out of it, you want to have some kind of customization and adjusting this app for your own needs, because again, video editing is a huge, big pile of actions, and you won't use all this based on your project. I don't like this layout when you need to find settings for your something, looking for different tabs, different menus, different windows, instead of just open settings and adjust this setting. Here's another problem of professional tools. You can't hide useless crap. If you open titles and generators, you can find a lot of different stock basic titles and generators which you won't use, and you can't hide it. You have infinite amount of things that's for beginners, and if you don't have any plugins, it will be useful for you. Maybe. But when you have a lot of different custom plugins which you paid for, which you are looking, which you are trying to find and trying to use, you simply forget about your plugins because it's just somewhere in this mess and you don't want to search for it. Simple solution is create a favorite folder and put everything that you use every single day in this folder, and it's much easier than searching for specific plugin from motionarray.com or from Maximov production. Another simple solution is opposite of favorites. This is not favorite or hidden items. You can just right click on this title and throw in garbage bin, and it will be in this hidden folder. That's all. You can do this for titles, for generators, for effects, for transitions, and I really don't understand why you can't pin your favorite folders if you're speaking about effects. I have dedicated folder with my favorite presets for video, and I have dedicated folder for audio presets, but I need to search for these folders because again it's located somewhere in this mess which I don't use. It's simple, but why we don't have this solution? Another problem is that you can't open multiple projects simultaneously. It's default workflow in Premiere Pro when you have two opened sequences. First one with your dirty footage and second one with your final footage, and you drag and drop from one sequence to another, and it's much easier to manage this footage. But Final Cut Pro thinks that if you are professional, one timeline will be enough for your tasks. That's all. It's great advantage of Final Cut Pro because it has a really clean look, and if you open it, you're feeling excited because, oh, it's pretty simple to edit. If you open Premiere Pro, you have, oh my god, it's so much windows, and a lot of errors because I click on something and something breaks down, as always in Premiere Pro. One thing is editing on this small display, and other thing is when you have ultra-wide monitor from LG or XDR Studio Pro Apple display, and you don't use all this available space simply because design of Final Cut Pro is not capable to do this. I want to have better keyframing. Again, I have dedicated video about keyframing in Final Cut Pro, and you have like huge limitations of doing it. It's simple to create these keyframes, but you don't have like absolute control on these keyframes. You can't manage it properly, directly, and with different additional properties. If you want to move your keyframes, you need to open strange and ugly window, which is the only purpose is just move these keyframes. You can't copy specific keyframes and paste it in other video or in the same video, but in a different period of time. You can't change style of this animation. For example, is in or is out, which you have in Premiere Pro. In Premiere Pro, I worked a lot with keyframes because it was comfortable to use and comfortable to change. But in Final Cut Pro, I don't want to touch it like at all. Maximum that I have is scale in and scale out. That's all. Or small positioning. You can create a lot of different stuff just simply adjusting your keyframes. But you don't have this control. That's it. This Magic Apple amazing neural cores, where are they? I really don't understand why Final Cut Pro doesn't use this feature. In one of the latest updates, they introduced and implemented feature of tracker, and that's all. Motion tracker. You can track motion and adjust this, and that's all. You can automatically fix audio, fix color balance, but you have these features before M1 chip, before neural cores. DaVinci Resolve without neural cores can remove backgrounds in real time. Even if you're shooting TikToks or Instagram Reels, you can remove backgrounds in real time without using neural cores. Why we don't have these features in Final Cut Pro, where we have all power to do this, like in 2 clicks, like Apple likes? I'm out of words, I can just When you're using Photoshop, you can just click on one button and it will select the subject, just based on the image. It can simply remove different objects, replace the background, replace the sky. Even old version of Adobe Premiere Pro have feature which called automatic tracking of object. You just click on one button and it automatically tracking the object and just its position. It was before neural course. Where the features of neural course and why it doesn't improve our life? We're still doing a lot of different routine operations because machine, like second brain inside our machine, don't know the features, don't know the tools, how to use it. And we have another problem speaking about routine boring operations. Automatic speech recognition. Maybe you don't know, but English is my second language, my first language is native one, Russian. And I have videos about my sea life when I worked on vessel, you can watch it here, and I created two different subtitles. First one is English, second one is Russian, and I had to spend a lot of my time just writing subtitles, watching this video over and over, writing subtitles what I'm saying right now, and I need to write it. I really hate this process because for standard 10 minutes YouTube video you need to spend 2 hours to just write subtitles for this video. I have simple solution, add feature of speech recognition inside Final Cut Pro and create automatic subtitles based on this speech. Hey Siri, why Final Cut Pro sucks?
I'm sorry you're not happy with it.
I'm not happy, but Apple Watch and iPhone understand my speech, not good, perfect English speech, but Final Cut Pro can't do this. And last point, Final Cut Pro is for solo players. Again, simply you don't have these features built in Final Cut Pro. If you open Premiere Pro, you have collaborative workspace or something like this, where you can just open one big project and put different project inside it and invite different people to work on these projects. I didn't try this feature, I know that it works, and you have additional courses how to create this workspace for multiple users. I really don't know what to do because right now I'm editing videos by myself, but I want to find a person, a video editor who will work in Final Cut Pro and work with these projects and split the work. And I really don't understand how to build this system which will work. I don't know. I have strong feelings that inside Apple there's like 2, 3, 4, 5 people who just working on this whole Pro apps that Apple released, and they don't have any kind of roadmap. They just put new features, just take something and forget about our existence. Maybe it's all because they choose wrong way of monetization of these Pro apps, because if you don't know, like any kind of Pro apps is selling by subscription. I think if we open Apple's revenue report, we will have this picture when 1 hour of selling just AirPods will give more money to Apple than selling the Final Cut Pro and other Pro apps for the whole year. And by the way, it's interesting discussion if Final Cut Pro will be subscription-based app. Will you pay for it or you will switch on Adobe Premiere Pro? I want to see your comments in the comment section, and if you're Final Cut Pro user, I have additional tutorials about Final Cut Pro, and if you're Adobe Premiere Pro, you can watch Adobe Premiere Pro tutorial, and if you don't know what to choose, I have video about comparison Adobe Premiere Pro versus Premiere Pro. Thanks for watching, and please Apple, just add these features that I said before and I will be happy, and a lot of people will be happy about just these simple features.